RMC-14 has received an update recently, and it's added a good couple of things. Uh, you might have noticed the new sapper boiler variant. There's been a couple of wall changes, and I've just composed a small little exhibit here to display some of the things that I thought were interesting. So, firstly, we have the big star of the show here, which is our young boiler, our young sapper boiler. The sapper boiler is a considerable diversion from the normal boiler. You might have been familiar with boilers with their acid clouds. They're a support thing that helps dislodge marines using big clouds that melt them into pieces. Anyhow, this is supposed to be considerable divergence from that standard boiler strain. We could see our kit over on the left hand side of our screen, and we'll just go over that in a moment. But first, uh, let's just do a quick change over to the walls for a moment. You might notice there's holes in these, um, and we'll just show off how to get one of these holes. If you have your acid, you have strong corrosive acid. Any Xeno could do this, but boilers are really well to do it because they have their corrosive acid. You could go to a wall and you can apply that. And once it reaches approximately 10 integrity, a hole will be opened in the wall. So we're not able to fit in this because we're big and fat. But a runner, for example, that would be able to fit through this hole. So we are just going to click on this and it'll start a do after, as you could see here. And the wall is completely destroyed. It's replaced with a damaged girder. And we're now able to go through here. Can't walk through these normally. You can see through them, but you ain't able to do much else. Now, we could go over to the rest of the kit. We have our acid mine, which is our 40 costs 7 by default. And this will simply damage the enemy. Do a bit of acid damage. We have our acid shotgun, which I'm going to save for a bit later. And then we have deploy traps, which will, depending on how you position it, deploy traps in a line. So let's just deploy these, and we'll drag you into it. That will do a stun, and it's not too big of a deal, really, in the grand scheme. You might have noticed something if you had a sharp eye or paused. There's mention of empowerment. Now, if we go over to our acid shotgun, this is how we build empowerment. This is the big gimmick, I guess, so to say, with the sapper. You will use your acid shotgun and you will fire it, and that'll do damage. It'll be good and all, but what you're really wanting to do is you want to get close and you want to get stacks of empowerment. So, as you can see there, I just roared, and there's now a color around our traps right here. This means that they are empowered. So let's deploy that, and we'll just get this empowered trap and drag somebody into it. And that does more damage. I'm pretty sure it does debuffs. So this is much more ideal for us to use. So you want to be hitting close-up shotgun blasts, and then you want to be deploying your empowered abilities. Acid mines also get buffed with your empowerment. Just use the red outline now, and it will apply acid stacks. Very notably, this isn't a sort of sit and wait cast where you're trying to effectively set up a bunch of traps that people will eventually come across with your standard like mines. No, this is very much an active thing. You could see it right there. These traps, they will dissipate over time if you don't, properly follow through on these traps. Yeah, after a couple seconds, they're gone. So this is a much more active role than something like a Hive Lord, and you shouldn't treat it like such. I'm not a Xeno player, so I can't really give you the best strategies to use with this thing, but I could try my best to at least direct you into how it works. You also still have the long range slight, which is very handy, I imagine. Great for stalking people. Let's move on to the walls again. So I'm just going to A-ghost real quick, and we'll go into our runner real quick for a moment, just to show this off. As you can see, could go through the wall with a very short do after. So if you were to say acid a wall and then push through, you could get some really harsh ambushes going on people when they're not expecting it. Now let's go back over to our little guy over here and repair these walls. So because this has 10% integrity, it's going to be a very difficult fix. So we'll just grab our nail gun, and because it's at 10%, we need to use plasteel for this. So we hold this in one hand, and we hold the plasteel in the other, and we just click on it. And that will repair the wall by 30 points. And then you can keep using plasteel if it's damaged. You really need that wall repaired. But then you could also use metal sheets and wooden planks. Now, these, of course, won't work on damage this severe, but they will work on much more moderate things where the wall isn't quite damaged yet. Wood planks will do a good 7 per, and then your metal sheets, these will do a bit more. I think that was... It was enough. It was enough. 62, and then it's 70, 15 about. Another tool in your kit to keep your FOB nice and secure from Xenos. Now, these damaged girders, you could see here that you need a welder to repair it. So, I don't have eye protection, but we don't need eye protection around here. There you go. The wall is repaired. And then you just apply your metal and your plasteel with a screwdriver, and you'll have your own spanking brand new wall with no snags attached. There's one more thing relating to acid that I should cover, and that is the second wind mechanic that was just added. So we have our compact nail gun, and we're just going to spit a bunch of acid on it. We're going to rejuvenate and then spit a bunch of acid on it. Perfect. Now, we're going to swap on over back to our guy over here. And normally, you'd be able to, well, previously, you'd be able to pick this up. But now, you're not able to do that because it's covered in acid. You wouldn't want to burn your hand now, would you? But with the second wind mechanic, that was unintended. I should have been quicker on the draw. With the second wind mechanic, you could take a fire extinguisher and, well, blast it with water, and that would have got rid of the acid, and then you would have been able to pick it up. The second go around, you wouldn't be able to do that, though. You get one chance to save your weapon, and that's it. It's great if you had something like an M54C, and you really don't want to lose that. So you won't have pesky Xeno run on over, melt your gun, and then there's nothing you could do. You could actually do something now with your second wind. And I think that's much more interesting than just losing your gun. Full stop. So let's continue moving on to our next exhibit. The Executive Bodyguard is a new role that's been added to the game. In exchange for 25 hours of corporate liaison time and something to the tune of 5 hours of MP time, you're able to get your hands on an Executive Bodyguard role. These will spawn with your liaison, and their job is to effectively protect them. They are explicitly not a police role. They are explicitly not an antagonistic role. Players are trusted that they're able to, stay reasonable. They're not supposed to be actively interfering with the round or creating problems for military police. And they're just here to do their job for the corporation. Then they also have their own little gear rack, which I'll display real quick by swapping on over to the bodyguard. And then they have all sorts of options here. Some attachments. You need to get themselves an electrostatic pistol, some zip ties, some gloves, some body armor, They have like a medical pouch. They have a security pouch with a disabler in them. But they're very explicitly not supposed to be a antagonistic role. You also have a stamped piece of paper explicitly outlining your job here. You are supposed to be non-lethal. You're supposed to handle stuff with the military police. You're supposed to cooperate. You're supposed to follow marine law. This role is not an antagonistic role. It should never be used like an antagonistic role. Let's swap back on over. You might have seen a sneak peek of it over there, but yes, fishing. This is a new mechanic that they've added. Let me just grab myself a fishing pole. Now, if there's any body of water, including toxic water, which was just added, let me just show that off. You could fish in it. Now, you just gotta have about 2 tiles of water. You set it up, and there's your fishing rod. Now you can grab some bait, but you don't need the bait. It just helps. And then you cast it, and there you go. It's in the water. You wait a bit. It bites, and then you get a security tuner, I guess. That's not quite fish. Let's do that again. Now, there's all sorts of things that you can spawn. They all have meat. Sea urchin, squid. Ah, come on. Give me something good. Battery cell? Don't know why it's so allergic to giving me fish all of a sudden. And then once you have a knife, you're able to butcher these for whatever's in the guts, which is usually meat. I'm just going to give up on that. You can find the fish yourself. There's all sorts of things. There's sea bass, there's bluegills, there's all sorts of fun little critters that you can get your hands on. Now, this is another thing that I wanted to add. I'm going to, as a precaution, put my CBRN mask on. White phosphorus has been added. So we have our CCDP, and we have our... oh, shoot. These are CCDPs, and these are WPDPs, and these are very similar in effect. So you will grab your grenade, chuck it at a 2-second timer, and it does a big smoke cloud, which does a bunch of damage, and it applies fire stacks. Same thing with this. Block vision. These are brutal in like human combat because it's nasty to get hit by one of these things, and it'll obscure their vision, all that jazz. But if we're looking for something real evil, we have our new white phosphorus rockets, which are accessible to our beautiful to our beautiful weapon specialists, specifically the demolitionist. Now I'm going to aim. This is not a safe distance. I'm going to aim, and I'm going to fire. I don't seem to know how to use this thing. I'm going to go into spawn entities. I'm going to give myself a demolitionist pamphlet. And then I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to fire. That puts up a big smoke cloud for a couple of seconds. And then a bunch of blue fire, which is absolutely brutal. We could check the DPS on these. This will stick around for a bit and scare the pants off of any Xeno that gets near you. It's very, very entertaining to watch, in my opinion. But we're burning daylight, so let's get on over to the other exhibits. The new combat correspondent has been added, along with some other neat things for the correspondents. Combat correspondents are very explicitly Marine-affiliated correspondents, effectively. So you have your normal correspondent, that's a civilian, but a combat correspondent is a Marine. They have a rank, they are enlisted personnel, and whatever they're doing is supposed to be at least roughly aligned with the interests of the UNMC. They are, however, not a Marine combat role. You shouldn't be going on to the front lines Ramboing out as a Marine combat correspondent. You're just a correspondent with a fresh point of paint, effectively. You have your own equipment rack right here, and then you get all sorts of nice things, including some stuff that we'll cover later. You know, you get your reporter kit, you got your camera, you got your clipboards, You got your recorders, your binoculars, all the handy things that you might need. There's also another new addition in the correspondent field tent, accessible to correspondents. So let's just put this up real quick. Ignore the ominous blue that we're seeing over there. I'll take a couple seconds, and then it'll be up. Hooey! That's good as new. Anyhow, go inside, and you have your clock, you got your fax machine for faxing people, and a bunch of paper. 10 pieces of paper, and a phone. Everything that you need as a news reporter. Another thing that they added was the portable fax machine, which I can't get to work right now. It says deployment area is blocked, even though it's a bunch of open space. I don't know really what it wants from me. I'm going to guess it's an area thing, because I'm in a ceiling level 3 area right now. But if you do get to figure out how that works, then that'll be plenty of good fun. Yeah, it also works as a backpack. So you could take that instead of your satchel and then just use your pouches to store things. So we're going to A ghost again and get back into our old guy, and we're going to keep moving. Oh, looks like they all fell asleep. These are our new Paramarine roles. These are Three Sons Empire affiliated survivor roles, and they all have their own unique gear. You can see here they have their own unique revolver. This is the commander, the support synthetic, the team leader, rifleman, fleet arm pilot, Paramarine's assault engineer, and the medical technician. These are a element of the UNM, the Royal Crown Marines of the Three Sons Empire, and they spawn with about a 30% chance as a set piece on Hybrissa Prospera. So if you want to play these guys, wait for it to be Hybrissa Prospera and Roll Survivor. And they have all sorts of neat loot to play around with. This is one that I've been anticipating a good while. These are janitor buckets. And as you can see, these have changed. They hold only 300 units now. People, what they would used to do is they'd fill these up with all sorts of chemicals and drugs and then chug them in the field. No more. These things will no longer fit in bags. They are too big. So that just kills these things as something to use for GC, which I'm really glad for because it was kind of stupid that you could use a janitor bucket as a storage device. If you feel pissed off, don't worry. You still have reagent jugs, which store the exact same amount as they used to, with the buckets here at 500 units, and they're small items. Your meta hasn't changed because they nerfed janitorial buckets, and I'm glad these are handled because I was sick of seeing people shoving buckets in their things. It was a bit too goofy for my taste. Enough of that. Hifa Knights have a change. If you go over to the Hifa helmet over here, has some Hifa grenades. You know what a Hifa grenade is. You throw it, it goes boom, it tosses shrapnel. Let's throw, but you might notice, has a timer. That's because this is now also a grenade. That's good fun. You also have the sword. So Hifa sword. These do like 70 damage, whatever. But if you were to prime it, if you press Z, when you hit somebody, it does this. I'm sorry, me. That wasn't very nice. Yeah, no. Completely deletes the sword and causes an immense explosion. Probably not as bad as if you're a Hifa Knight. And it wasn't that bad there because I was wearing some body armor. Some more roles have been added for survivors in the form of the SPP airborne divisions. These spawn as a set piece on Trident Dam, and they have their standard kit. You know, your Type 71Cs, your they have a specialist of a Type 71F. I got a squad leader. They got a medic. They got a soldier, a sapper. Nothing to write home about. Just more SPP. Finally, these are some new guns. Some of these are Paramarine guns that I brought over. Uh, and some of these are Survivor guns. Some of these are for PvE only. So let's just do a quick display of these. We have our M1911, which is a new pistol that got added. These replace M1984s in the hands of survivors. 8 shots. You do about like 60 per. And only fires 45 ACP. Fun little pistol. 4Con gets it. Standard survivors also have this. The Warwick MKX is a Metiba reskin used for the RCM. So I just loaded some high impact rounds and we'll just fire. And that's 60. And then like... well, it's no fun when they're already sleeping. Oh, okay, that woke them up. Let me just load an AP in. Yeah, knocks them down. Good fun. Good for executions. Good for all sorts of things. Absolutely crushing. Then we have, we'll go over our survivor ones first. Our L8A2, which is the standard one of the Paramarines. It's just a standard assault rifle. 30 shots. The magazine doesn't eject. There's the A1, which is identical, but it has a grip next to it. It's less modular. There is our L57, which is just a PDW-90 or P90. It's a submachine gun. 50 shots. It's fun. I like P90s. They're cool. The L89A1s have affixed scopes. A1 has a grip. A2 doesn't. You could put something else there. Yeah, just a modular scope. Give me your magazine. It also has interchangeable magazines with the A8. So... Now, it says semi-automatic, but I'm holding my mouse down while I'm firing. Yeah. Handy piece of work there. Finally, the Damsel. This is PvE. Let me just fire this. It's just a slaw, effectively, or shell launcher, but for the RCM. The LA-49 assault shotgun's finally another one. This is for PvE only, and it's an automatic 12-gauge shotgun. So we get some buckshot here, and we'll jump on over, and... It does okay as a shotgun. Only fires 5 shots. It comes with a stock, which you can remove, but I keep it on. And it has a standoff device, which just improves your ballistics. If I'm correct, this doesn't do stuns like the other shotguns. Has a bit of balance. And then it also has unique breaching shells, L49B shells, which they're good for walls. Let's see. 90. 83. It's like 7% on a reinforced hole wall. And they're like piss poor for DPS. It's something if you want to breach walls, but if you need it as a weapon, then it's fine as a weapon. You could load slugs into it, you could load your incendiary buckshot, you could load your well, not your dragon's breath, you could load your incendiary slugs. It's a good shotgun. It's a fun shotgun. I think it looks cool. Moving on. There's a bunch of cosmetics that have been added recently. There's ponchos, as you can see here. And the way these work is you just go over to your uniform, you click on your uniform, and you're wearing the poncho. And you can only wear one at a time, but go figure. You have watches. These will tell the time in accordance to your actual time zone and the date. And these are cosmetics that you could wear in your uniform. You wear them on your gloves. Not very noticeable, but it's a fun little, cute little thing. There's a bunch of new books, which are for flavor. Some of these will lead to the guidebook. Like, we'll go to bureaucracy and paperwork. Nope, I lied. Barman recipes. This one leads you to the alcohol section. There's some props, like SPP props. Playing cards were added. They have a little guide here on how to use them as well. turn that face up. It's 10 of diamonds. And shuffle. And you can play poker with that now, or you could play, I don't know, Go Fish. You can find them in your rec vend, along with all the other stuff. Finally, the universal recorder. Now, this thing excites me a lot. So you press C on it, and you have 3 buttons. You can check the tape, and you get a regulation tape. You get a box of these things as a recorder. You get a box of these as a MP. They're easy enough to find. Now, you take the universal recorder, you press C, and if you want to get this working, just play, and you can see tape has no data. So record it, and just start yapping. Yap. Nope, I used the wrong chat for that one. Yap. Yap, 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 yap. Yap. And now you could stop the tape. And you're able to print your transcript, which will show you what happened or what was said when. But you're also able to play it back, which is great for roleplay. There's all sorts of applications for that. It's great for interviews. It's great for all sorts of things. Oh yeah, notice boards were also added as a prop. It's cute. You could put your paper on it. They're very small. Let's move on. Oh. New variants of the monkey were added to the game. Like by standard, you have your monkey as a small host, but we now have Farwas, Niaras, Stalks, and Yiren. These are for like jungles, or like snowy environments or desert environments. And the monkey itself has a resprite. You can see it right there. Pets, in addition, are also able to be picked up now. So Jones, you could bring them into battle, shove them in your backpack. You know, what could go wrong? You go back there, Jones. The PDT wrist bracelet was added. The way this works is pretty simple. You have your battle buddy kit and your bracelet. So you get your tube and you link it to the bracelet. Great. Now put your bracelet here. Put your tube in your hand and press C. And it will give you directions to where the bracelet currently is. That's at 6E. So we'll go over here for a moment. Now it's saying 4W for west. You could give this to one of your buddies and follow them effectively wherever you are. But you could also put this in other things. Maybe you want to track a box or something. This is how you do it. Of course, though, it operates off of a battery, so you'll need a couple mini batteries in order to keep this thing powered for a decent amount of time. It's very useful, though. And I look forward to seeing applications for this. I know intel officers like this, so they could keep track of your intel officer or your rifleman. These come in as loadout options, too. So if you want one of these, pick it up in your loadout, and you'll grab it. Foldable barricades were added. They are effectively similar to normal barricades, but you can't vault over them, as you can see here. And they stack into 3. So we'll grab one of these, put it down, and you have a barricade right there on the spot. It's very useful. Now, put up 3. These are great for like doors because, like with sandbags, you have 10. You can put up 10, but like it takes a second. But with doors, you just need like 2 to secure the door. Now you have barricades. You've secured an entrance into your building. These could also be deconstructed with an alt click like that. And you have your barricade already. And these stack, so there you go. Up to 3. They're handy. They're useful. They're quick. Good for engineers. Good for like maintenance technicians if they ever need them. I'm pretty sure you can get these at requisitions or in your loadout. Final exhibit. CBRN riflemen have been added. And you can see I am currently a CBRN rifleman. And they changed things up for them, where if you're on fire, but you have your mop suit fully equipped, you are completely immune to the effects of fire. This is eternal fire, undying fire, which should kill you if you stick into it, but Not me. I'm in my CBR and kit. If I take it off, though, I die. Well, maybe not instantly, but it's slowly going to kill me. Let me just speed this up. Anyhow, that covers most of the stuff that I wanted to cover with the new update. There are a couple other things that I might have missed. Uh, I'm pretty sure not correspondent. CL's got new radio tags that they could get as loadout items, but they're effectively just a reskinned, a reskinned radio RTO that it's just for civilians. But other than that, there's also a bunch of minor things, quality of life things, tiny merges that make the whole project functional and churn along. It's not just the very big things that make the project work. It's tiny bricks that make the whole foundation function and not fall apart into a million pieces. I want to issue a big thanks to the contributors and the various people who have been keeping this thing churning, especially in the rough times that we're currently having. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a good day and happy hunting out there.